welcome to another Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. Yes, the day where I cover something sci-fi or fantasy. And I started off this segment, or Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturdays, with a war game, or focusing on war games, because that is generally the focus of my channel, although I've kind of grown from that and gone far afield into gaming, whether it be board games or role-playing, or actually, somewhat of a travelogue at times. You know me, I'm covering all kinds of things on my channel, but, the vast majority of my videos cover war games. And again, the first Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturdays were war games, and this is a war game. Well, at least I'll call it a war game. Some of your grognards might not call it a war game, but, let's look inside and see what we think. This is the limited edition Ars Victor, the 1 hour war game. See, it says it right there in the title. This is designed by Stephen DeBon. It's from Trip West Games, copyright 2013. Yes, this is a older game. However, it's been on my list, or my watch list, for a long, long time, and eventually it came down dramatically in price at a Noble Night sale, which by the time I'm posting this is long gone, but there'll be others. So I'm going to put this in my Kilroy's Bargains section or playlist. So if you ever look at my channel, let me know what you think about the different playlists. But my Kilroy's Bargains are games that I'm getting that I feel like I got a real good bargain. I got it for, maybe 30% of its original price or less sometimes. And so I put it in that section. Hopefully you'll find the same bargain if you're interested in the game. So let's get it out of this bag. This is, of course, not the original bag. This is how Noble Knight sent it to me. But this is unpunched and unplayed, unless they put all the counters back into the punch. So, as you can see here, this is 1 hour war game. Let's look at the back of the box here. And this has got some good heft to it. So there's really good value here. Given what I paid for it. This is the limited edition. It's got 60 more units and a new faction. So you have the ancient hegemony. Crush your enemies in just 1 hour. Ars Victor distills battlefield command into fast, tense, head-to-head test of skills. Build your own ferocious fighting force of the future and construct a new map each time you play. Easy to learn rules make for a great introduction to war games. Veterans will enjoy strategy and metagame. Components: 9 double-sided mounted tiles. This is kind of one of those geomorphic tile placement or tile building games. 60 double-sided unit counters, 30 red and blue banners, 12 red, white, and blue attack dice, 2 decks of 24 command cards, 24-page full-color rulebook, 2 full-color reference sheets, a plethora of other markers, 2 players, 60 minutes, BGG weight 2.25 out of 2.2 out of 5. That's one of the few times I've seen BGG weight put on a box. A lot of people don't put much stock in BGG weight, but that's a whole nother discussion. Ages 13 plus. So there you have it. There's an example of some of the cards, the units, and some of the markers in there as well. So let's take a look here. Box is a little scratched up, but I mean, not bad. I mean, again, good, decent, sturdy box. As you can see, it's relatively new. Still have my silica intake for the day. Here are those custom battle dice. As you can see here, they have some different icons on there that you'll use in the game. We have 2 decks of cards. I imagine these are the command cards. We'll take a look at those here in a little bit. We've got a rules booklet, which is no pages. Oh, here we go. So 24 pages of rules. Here is their index, parts of the game, mission setup, your turn, movement, combat, special abilities. And missions start at 20. How to win, quick start on the web. I haven't gone to that site to see if that website's still here. Here's parts of the game. You've got your map, so you're going to be putting these tiles together to form a map. That probably depends on the mission. And there's end caps that gives you some tracks to frame your map. Here's an example of the units. Close combat, the number of dice used, moves, range dice. And so the dice are going to be different. Like this, I imagine, uses 3 white. This uses 2 white and 1 red. So those go with the different dice. Here's the cost of the unit. Here's the hit points. And here's the name of the unit. Some of them also respond to Fred. So there we go, a little bit of humor here. So this is somewhat of a, I put it in sci-fi, but this probably fits fantasy as well. You've got some of the like dragon lancers here, or some kind of dinosaur lancers, whatever you want to call it. But you've got futuristic, and you've got, you know, modern day or World War II, or whatever time period you want to talk about there. So it's kind of anachronistic and covers several different periods that you can fight against each other. So you have the units here talking about the hit points, attacks, moves, special abilities, and cost. Then we've got the banners, command cards. These are these cards here that we'll crack open here in a little bit. Other markers, you've got damage markers, command tokens. Ooh, I'm getting a little bit of glare. Damage markers, command tokens, attack dice. You've got your mission setup, initiative, muster, scouting, Vanguard. Here's an example of a mission setup here. So very much a tactical game. Here's your turn. You can bleed glory, play card, order units. You got the different types of orders here, advance and assault. Suits and other costs, draw cards. Here's an example of orders. So as you can see, full color, double column, relatively good size font. So with examples, so again, even though the rule book is 24 pages, it's a very easy to read and figure out what's going on 24 pages. So your move types are walk, run, and jump. Restrictions: engage, slow, occupy. Okay, cool. And they have these quick start rules or guidelines throughout that kind of tell you a little bit, you know, maybe the summary of what's going on in that rule. Here's some examples of movement. Here's line of sight. Very simple explanation of line of sight. I can't remember the name of the game, but there was a game, it might have been Champion Hill, that had some of the most complex explanation of line of sight that I've seen. I think it was that one. I have to go back and look at my videos. I have to, because Lord knows you guys aren't. Just joking. All right, so combat, you've got attack types, you've got close combat, range combat, which is the number of dice and then the distance of the range. Combat abilities, here's the die faces, whether you get a hit or weak hits or power hits or push. There's dice resolution. So the combat doesn't look that complicated. It's all based on these, you know, custom dice and the number of dice you roll based on the unit's abilities. Here's an example of close combat. Here's an example of range combat. Oh, they got the train effects: cover, impede, and block. Here's special abilities. So I imagine with all these different units, each unit might have some different abilities. Looks like you've got all-terrain, insertion, jump moves, all-terrain, marksman, aim, indirect fire, fury, ambush. In the future, we will publish new units. I wonder if they ever did. I've only seen this one edition. Here's bug out, take cover, stand fast, and tough. Get the line in. Getting a little bit of glare there. Sorry for the glare, y'all. Here's strategy tips. Here's some missions. So you got mission 1 with the units involved and the board layout and any notes. Mission 2, mission 3, mission 4, And so 4 missions, but I imagine this game's probably not too hard to make up your own mission. You just want to keep, you probably gauge it by the starting points of the cost points of the units to make sure that each side is starting off with the same amount or relatively close to the same amount. You have a 28 and a 26 here. So that is the rule booklet. Here's the thank you for, I think that was for backers, and there's a errata in there, okay. Here's quick reference on good paper, on good player aid type paper. Your orders, attack types, attack dice, special abilities, terrain effects, and then on the back is your unit reference. So you got the Empire of Man and Ancient Hegemony. So, yeah, looks like we got some sci-fi and fantasy in here. You get 2 of those. Then we get the counters. The counters are very nice. They're good thickness there. I mean, not super thick, but not you're real thin, but they're pre-rounded. As you can see here. Look at the brutes. You want to see the light infantry over here. And they're double-sided. So with different units on the front and the back. So you've got more than one unit here. Wonder if the quick reference had different ancient head. Yeah, they're both Empire Man and Ancient Hegemony. So I wonder if there's just 2 factions in here. So second counter sheet, third counter sheet. Oh, these look different here. Yeah, these are different units. And 4 counter sheets here. Look at those Valkyries. And Corvettes. So there you have that. And these are like banners. I'm not sure exactly how those work, but as you can see, they come out real easy as I'm just poking them out here. I think these are damage markers here. And the banners are double-sided. Then we got, these are those framing tracks to go around the board. So you track your glory and they kind of fit like a puzzle piece here. You got your walk, run, different types of movement, cost, tough, hit points, all kinds of different symbols there. And they are one-sided because they will be the frame of the board. Here's some more of that. And so the outer frame of the board is going to have kind of a player aid, right? You've got your setup and your turn, what you do on your turn, how you set up, and then what you do on your turn is kind of the outer, map or outer frame. And then the rest of these are all the boards, which are good thickness here, as you can see. Looks like they're a little bit, maybe the same thickness as the counter, but they feel a little bit thicker than the counters. But they're just punch out. But they come in these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 9 by 9 with half hexes. But then you got these other solo hexes there, and they're double-sided, so you've got a lot of variability and replayability. So you got 1A and 1B, 2A, 2B, or not to be, 3A, couldn't resist, 3B, 4A, 4B, 5A, what's next? 5B, 6A, 6B, and some of these are almost coming out as I just flip them over, so you can tell they come out relatively cleanly. 7A, 7B, 8A, 8B, and 9A, and 9B. And some of these are bigger. They're not the 3 by 3. They're the 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 by 3. With kind of a half hex on either side there. So, you know, kind of interesting that you have the terrain there. Very, you know, graphics are relatively simple, but enough to tell what the different types of terrain that are represented on the map. So that's what you get in the box there. So quite a bit of map work there. These are the frames for that. You got your banners and counters. Then you have 4 unit sheets here. Did I lose a unit sheet? Maybe you have 3. No, there's 4. 4 unit sheets here, double-sided. And then you've got your quick reference, and then you've got your rules. Now let's see what we have in these decks here. These are your, I think, command decks. Is that what they called them? If any of you have played this game, it's been out since 2013. I don't know if it got any love. It looked like they plan to do a lot of expansions. It looks like it's made to have expansions and add new factions, but don't know if they ever did any of that. If you know, please chime in down below in the comments. Let's look at these cards here. So these are good, kind of thick cards. So I guess you can play them for a long time. They're nice and sturdy. Don't know how they shuffle. Don't know if you really need to shuffle them. But these are the different, what if these are the different commands, and you have these different notations here. I'd have to read up on the rules. I'd imagine each of these decks are identical, just different color for the different faction. And so whatever you're playing, that is what you use. So those are your commands. So that is all that you get in a box of Ars Victor. Again, love to know any thoughts you might have on this. If you have played this, own it, don't own it, whatever you have on this. As I said, I've watched this for a long time. I was interested in kind of the tactics and how it portrayed combat with some of this mechanisms. It looked interesting. You know, the art is somewhat cartoonish of sort. I don't know if you call it cartoonish or how you would represent what that art looks like. But anyway, that is what you get in a box of Ars Victor. Thank you so much for stopping by on this Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. Love to have your comments on any of this or anything you want to talk about. Just keep it civil. Anyway, I'm going to punch all this out and get it to the table, and then hopefully do an after play video and let you know what I think. Anyway, thanks all. Take care. Thanks for watching.